Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Americana writer, got no education. I met him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn white Levi's were covering his femur, until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G,
Stream elements.
he's your average teacher, gone
MRG_live
Mr. G,
Streaming just chatting. MR.G live classroom.
teacher,
Today's
IRL streamer.
#Virginia.
He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G.
I'm Mr. G.
Man
Welcome to
dancing
my
light skin
class.
tone, woman dancing light skin tone.
How are you guys today? Aloha. Today is January 15th. It's Aloha Friday today.
MRSJ Mermaid. Said.
Hey, Mrs. J.
Aloha. Countryman.
Hey, countryman.
Said. Sup, Mr. G, have a good Friday.
So far, can't complain. Today is Friday, or as we call it in Hawaii, Aloha Friday, January 15th, 2001. Can everybody see the board okay? I'm messing with the lighting a tad bit. I hope everything is clear. So yes, today's Friday, Friday the 15th, which is a lucky day. Lucky! The kitty cat. On the board today, I have some of Virginia's most famous sons, I guess you would say. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1170 Nuuanu Avenue.
The floor's a little wet,
73305.
so I will stand at the beginning of the lecture here. Today's Friday. I think we went over that, but I would like to reiterate that point that today is Friday, and even though I took Monday off due to my sick kitty, it's been a pretty constructive week. There were 4 really good classes this week. This week we studied North Carolina, South Carolina, on Tuesday we studied Maryland. On Wednesday we studied South Carolina. Yesterday and Thursday we learned a lot about North Carolina. And today on Friday we're going to learn about Virginia.
MRSJ Mermaid.
Virginia has the most presidents born
show
there.
Love one, show love one,
of
show
any...
love one, show love one, show love one, show
Oh,
love
all
one,
right.
show love one, show love one, show love one.
Awesome, thank you. That reminds me, I should need to turn the
Help
donations
Mr. G
on
with the
really
donation
quickly.
through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip.
Thank you so much, Mrs. J.
MRSJ Mermaid. Said. I need more bits. LOL.
Okay, so I'll go and I wonder if I can replay those bits. I'm not logged into the OBS, which I am doing right now. So now any donations and any follows, they will be played. I got invited to play a video game, a sponsor, I guess you call it. Thank you so much, Mrs. J. Let's see if I can replay that. All right, thank you.
X12.
Ooh, all right.
X12.
Thank you. So I have the donations on there. It's a little hot in here. These lights. Yes, get that costume off here. About Virginia. Virginia is...
Scuba G200 X5.
Thank you. I think that was from yesterday. Hey, the Commonwealth of Virginia, as it's called. Let me go and put on some fancy graphics. And if you're wondering about me, if you're new to the classroom here, I just put my website on the board. That's a resume of me and some different things that I've been through and done in my life.
Stream Elements.
Virginia welcomes you.
Here, PodCham, check it out.
One thing on the license plate that I always notice is Virginia is for lovers. That's something that I've always noticed. Why do they say, I still don't know, Virginia is for lovers. The flag of Virginia is crazy. It says Sic Semper Tyrannis, which means thus always to tyrants. Yesterday, I still have on the board there, esse quam videri. And esse quam videri is Latin for to be rather than to seem to be. So don't act like you're a fucking baller when you're not. If you're a baller, You don't have to tell people you're a baller. You're just a fucking baller. Pardon my French. No, it's not French. Okay, continuing on with the great state of Virginia. Like I said, it's been a trying week. Today's Friday, so we'll do a somewhat short lecture. I'll speak about Virginia for a few minutes, and then we'll do a short slideshow talking about famous foods from Virginia, famous landmarks in Virginia, and famous people from Virginia. But since 8 presidents have been born in Virginia, we'll stick to mainly the presidents that were born in the presidents that are from Virginia, and then a few other people from Virginia. Like I said, Virginia is one of the oldest states. It's an original 13th colony. 4 of the 5 first presidents were from Virginia. Virginia was a very wealthy state in the 1700s and the early 1800s, I should say pre-Civil War, because of the amount of cotton and tobacco that they grew. And like their southern neighbors, they were able to profit immensely from the free labor they had through slavery. Richmond, Virginia is the capital of Virginia, and that actually used to be the capital of the Confederacy as well. It's a very historic site. Marble, Philip Morris is located in Richmond, Virginia. They still do grow lots of tobacco. However, sometime in the mid-90s, they realized that they could export that labor, to Costa Rica and Brazil, and they could get people to, pay people 10 cents an hour instead of the minimum wage laws here. Recently, I hear Biden is passing a $15 minimum wage.
That sign has a cardinal on it. Is it another cardinal state bird?
Yes, Mrs. J, good question. The state bird of Virginia is the northern cardinal, just like yesterday's state, North Carolina. And the state flower is also the same as North Carolina as well. Which is, I forget. Okay, so a little bit about the geography of the state of Virginia. For a smaller state...
Mr.G mermaid said, copycats.
Yeah, the copycats, they're the same bird and the same... I think they came up with it at the same time because North Carolina is one of the 13 colonies, original 13 colonies, just like Virginia. So, Virginia used to be a lot bigger than it once was. Part of Tennessee, all of Kentucky, and all of West Virginia was originally part of Virginia. Virginia was one of the most powerful, it probably was the most powerful colony at the start of the United States, 1776 onward. Post-Civil War, not the case. Currently, it's the largest, most populous state that doesn't have a professional sports team. There are no professional sports teams in the state of Virginia. Granted, the Washington Capitals and the Washington Nationals and the Washington football team, previously the Redskins, they're right across the Potomac in Washington, D.C.
Virginia is the only state that has 38 cities as their own county entities.
That's right.
The next state after is New York, and it's not even close.
That's right. The difference is in Virginia, the particular cities, 38 particular cities, are their own counties. So when you hear of Richmond County, Virginia, is where 38% of the state lives. And that's the more wealthiest part near Washington, D.C. and the Potomac River. Like I said, there aren't any professional sports teams in the state of Virginia, but right across the Potomac River, there's the many different sports teams in Washington. Yes, it's a neat state fact. Some more state facts, inventions. Virginia came up with camouflage. They invented camouflage. And, from the looks of it, you would seem that they just invented it. Because, if you see West Virginia, they always have the camouflaged hats. Camouflage is big everywhere in Virginia. And like I said, the majority of Virginia lives in the northern tip. There's a huge southern Navy presence in the southeastern part near Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach has a population of 450,000, almost 500,000, and that's just one of 6 cities or counties, as Countryman pointed out, that are in that southeast corner. I'll show you on the map once we get to the slideshow. But yeah, Virginia, it's unlike any other state. You'll see a lot of national landmarks there. What I just put on the board here, this is Northern Virginia. 38% of the state live in this little red area.
Said, you avoided my state. Indiana.
Hey Cody, yeah, I haven't done Indiana, Michigan, or there's another one over there. I did Wisconsin. Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. Those 3 Midwestern states I'm going to all knock out in 1 week. Also, I'll you know, that's coming up here, okay? Welcome to class, Cody.
Nightman. Said.
So I'm going to continue talking a little bit. So up here in the northern part of the state, this is where the majority of the country, of the state lives. It's the majority where the wealthy area is. It's the condensed area. When somebody says they live in the DC metro area, they usually mean somewhere up in that area. Very few people actually live in DC. They live, you know, across the Potomac in Northern Virginia. Yeah, I can talk about Michael Jackson once we get to Indiana, Cody. Today we're learning about Virginia. So I went over the different presidents. 4 out of the 5 first presidents are from Virginia, 8 total presidents. The last president that was from Virginia is Woodrow Wilson, and he was president back in 19-teens, like 1916, 1917. And I know this well because a friend of mine, his middle name was Woodrow, and his dad's middle name was Woodrow. His dad was born in 1917 when Woodrow Wilson was president, and his dad had, I'm talking about a friend of mine named Benjamin Woodrow McGee. And Benjamin Woodrow McGee the first was born when Woodrow Wilson was president. Benjamin Woodrow McGee the second was born like in 1982 when the first Benjamin Woodrow McGee was in his like 60s or 70s. All right, moving on. So I don't know. None of you are interested in that, I guess. But it's interesting to me. I like that name. He's known as one of the worst presidents ever, by the way. Woodrow Wilson is known as one of the worst presidents ever.
Said, Benny helped you with the papers.
Yeah, I mentioned that in my book, and I also mentioned his dad, Benny Sr., in the book as well. So I'm going to go ahead and, the presidents that are from, since we're talking about that right now, we'll start with that. The presidents that are from Virginia, Woodrow Wilson, who we were just speaking about. Also, I'll just name them off real quick and we'll go over each one. Woodrow Wilson, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, James Monroe, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, and of course George Washington. So somebody else from, this is John Taylor from Virginia. Zachary Taylor, he's an interesting looking character, also from Virginia. William Henry Harrison from Virginia. One of the founding fathers that gets forgotten about a lot, James Madison, is from Virginia. I hope you guys are enjoying the audio. I tweaked the audio settings. James Monroe, also a founding father.
https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_.
Thomas Jefferson. And of course, George Washington. So, out of more than any other state, Virginia has the most presidents, including George Washington.
Is Moses better?
Yes, I've just about done all of her antibiotics, and tomorrow's the last day for her antibiotics. She is better. She's not 100%, but
MRSJ Mermaid.
I'm gonna start giving her the medicated baths. So.
Glib Moses.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Mrs. J. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome, and don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you're from Virginia, or if you've been to Virginia, or if you're planning to move to Virginia, go ahead and leave a comment. All right, continuing with the lecture here. So that's about about Virginia. Let's go ahead and start the slideshow. Well, this right here is the Northern Cardinal, and we'll go ahead and do a little bit more slides here. So the Northern Cardinal, also the state bird of North Carolina, is the state bird of Virginia.
MRSJ Mermaid.
The state flower is flowering dogwood.
So pretty and vibrant.
Mm-hmm. Flowering dogwood is the state flower of North Carolina, and also the state flower of Virginia. So, some basic facts about Virginia. The population is 6.7 million. The capital is Richmond.
Mr.G.
Nickname is Old Dominion.
Packages to 1170.
The largest city is Virginia Beach. But like me and Countrymen were mentioning, the majority of the state lives in northern Virginia, where each city is a county. 8 U.S. presidents were from there, like we mentioned. All right, just going to do a short fun facts today, guys. Not that many. So some interesting facts about Virginia. They have a 4.3% sales tax. The water area is 7.7%. You'll find Chesapeake Bay and the Appalachian Mountains.
Cardinal is Indiana's state bird. Also, you see them a lot. The females are orangish, not near as pretty.
Interesting. Virginia has a lot of border states, including Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Like I said, you can go to the Atlantic Ocean, the Chesapeake Bay, and also the Appalachian Mountains when you're there. 62% of the state is forested. It's the 12th largest state population. Like I said, the population is 8.5 million. The full name is the Virginia Commonwealth at 8.5 million. And also, it used to be a lot larger area-wise. Like I said, it used to be part of Kentucky and West Virginia. They have 13 electoral votes. They're known as a swing state. Sometimes they vote Republican, sometimes they vote Democratic. More recently, they voted for Biden with 54% in the 2020 election. We'll go over a few famous places in Virginia. Monticello, that's the famous Thomas Jefferson plantation that's in Charlottesville. Charlottesville is also the home of University of Virginia. Jamestown is the first permanent settlement. The settlers in Jamestown actually survived on oysters, actually. And yeah, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington are the two most famous people from Virginia. So some more fun facts about its founding. John Smith founded Virginia. The settlers were from England. Like I said, Jamestown was the first settlement in 1607. They were able to keep the settlement intact due to growing tobacco and cotton, also slavery. Currently, Williamsburg, Virginia is where the settlement Jamestown once was, and you'll find many reenactments from the Revolutionary War as well as from the Civil War located in Williamsburg, Virginia. Once again, I said about the oysters. John Smith and the settlement of Jamestown, they were able to survive the first winter by living off of oysters.
Said, the new merch is here, PodChamp, check it out. https://merch.
So the first settlers actually sailed to Virginia on the Mayflower.
MRSJ Mermaid. Said, where is Plymouth Rock?
Well, Plymouth Rock is off of near Massachusetts. However, the first Thanksgiving actually took place in Virginia, not actually Plymouth Rock. Now, the story behind the name was given from by Queen Elizabeth, aka the Virgin Queen.
Oh, I see.
continuing on. Some more about the Virginia colony. We were talking about that. It was part of the Southern colony. The population of the
Help
colony.
Mr. G with a donation through Stream Elements. https://
So, hey everybody, looks like the floor is done. Ooh, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. It's been a pretty busy week. I just wanted to thank everybody for those that attended class this week. I don't think anyone had perfect attendance. Mrs. J almost did. But thank you everybody for coming to class this week. I just wanted to stop and tell you that I enjoy doing this. I enjoy teaching and I enjoy learning. And so even though this does take a lot of time, I really do enjoy teaching, especially about geography. So, continuing with the great state of Virginia.
Thanks, Mr. G, for the time and work you put into teaching us nerds.
You're welcome, Mrs. J. So some of the top industries in Virginia is agriculture is first. They grow beans, beets, broccoli, cabbage. They all grow really well in Virginia. The top exported crops would be cotton, hogs, wheat, peanuts, and apples. And you see this a lot in their dining, which we'll go over next here in a few minutes. Some of the overall top industries besides agriculture is oil and gas. There's mining in western Virginia near the Appalachian Mountains, construction, and government contracts. The majority of the money in the state is in the northern part of the state. Right on the other side of the Potomac is Washington, D.C. Once again, in the D.C. area, there's millions of people. The largest city in actual Virginia is Virginia Beach, which is in the south, and that has 500,000 people. But they measured a little bit differently than they do other cities, as me and countrymen were talking about. So I want to show you the flag of Virginia. This isn't the flag. But the flag of Virginia has to be one of the most interesting flags that I've ever seen. And don't tell me that I don't have a freaking slide of it, which I don't. Alright, so we're just going to go straight into the foods, guys. So some of the top foods, common foods that you'll find in the state of Virginia. Pimento cheese seems to be pretty popular around there. Also, fried pies, also very common in the state of Virginia.
Countryman.
Something else in Virginia?
I haven't been west of Richmond. I have only been to the east, along the shore, and the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel.
Oh, okay, interesting. There's two different kinds of oysters I'm going to show you here. These are Ropamuk oysters. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then they also have baked oysters.
More seafood.
Being right on the Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean, they do have a lot of seafood. Something else they have is Brunswick stew. This is something that you'll find in the Appalachian part of the country because it is, kind of poor. Appalachian foods, they do have a distinct flavor, if you will. Let's see if Google knows about it. Hey Google, Volume 10. Hey Google, tell me about Appalachian food.
On the website 10best.com, they say, Appalachian cuisine comes from living off the land and using whatever you can catch, hunt, harvest, or grow in your area, explains P.J. Stevenson, marketing director for West Virginia's top outdoor resort, Adventures on the Gorge.
Okay. Something else that's popular in the state of Virginia is ham and biscuits. I know you said you don't like mustard, Mrs. J, but that looks like something that would be good with mustard. Something else popular in Virginia is apple butter. They put this on sandwiches and a lot of different things as well. Apple butter, believe it or not. Something else popular that I had this morning for breakfast, mac and cheese. Everybody supposedly makes the best mac and cheese, right? More seafood. We have trout, also very popular in the state of Virginia. Trout. Some more seafood. Soft shell crabs.
I even don't like mac and cheese, haha.
Soft-shell crabs are really popular in Virginia. Virginia is known for its wine, believe it or not, and one of the top wine producers there is Norton Wine. And finally, last and not certainly least, we have peanut soup. Virginia is known for their peanuts, and apparently they make a killer peanut soup. All right, once again, if you'd like to know more about your teacher, my website is on the screen. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, click a thumbs up, leave a comment, and yeah, I put a lot into this. I hope you're learning about the great state of Virginia. Talk about Northern Virginia, it's known as Nova. Some of the counties up there would be Alexandria County, Falls Church County, and Manassas County. 38% of the state live in Virginia. The rest of it is Virginia Beach, and the rest is sparsely populated across the, I think they said 80% of the area is country. All right, so considering on, this is a good way, a good chart here. This is a 6 ways to divide Virginia. So as we can see in the top left, we see Northern Virginia is in red, and then the rest of them is orange. Over here in the green, the dark green would represent the Appalachian portion of Virginia, the western part. I'm looking at the second one over from the right.
Countryman said, there's that little tail there.
All right, and then you see the third one on the top, Civil War reenactors is the whole state, and then they have the little seafood area over there. On the coast is supposedly different.
MRSG Mermaid said, hey there.
All right, so at the bottom you see we have...
is the tail an island?
No, the tail isn't... Oh, well, yeah, if you're looking on the right side, that is an island, the part that's not connected to the mainland. And there is a lot of people there. There's a lot of crabs and seafood there.
Mermaid is connected to Maryland.
Yeah, it's connected to Maryland as well. So at the bottom left there, you see soccer moms are the green area. That's because that's Northern Virginia, as we spoke about. And the bottom right is where the Navy is. That's where you'll find Norfolk, Virginia. The bottom right is what I'm looking at right now. Well, the first one and the second one, where it says the Navy, that's actually the largest naval fort station in the world, and located in Norfolk, Virginia. Hey, scissors.
I have been to Norfolk.
So, okay, you've been to Norfolk. Okay, thank you. So Norfolk is the largest naval station in the world is located in Norfolk. And if you look at the bottom left map right there, where it says the Navy in the dark area, that right there is also where you'll find Virginia Beach. So the population of Virginia, 8.5 million, or I should say the population of Virginia Commonwealth is 8.5 million. There's 4.5 million right up there where it says soccer moms, and there's about 2 or 3 million right down there where it says the Navy. Now the rest of the area, the yellow area designated as rednecks, that's where you'll find a lot of small areas. All right, so the other last two maps, you know, they don't seem that important to the point that I was trying to make. But I think I hope you guys saw that. So here's one last cuisine from the state of Virginia. It's a shad roe fish, a shad fish. And it's only available for a couple months of the year at some of the finest dining establishments in the state of Virginia. Let's see if Google knows about it. Hey Google, what is a shadfish?
According to Wikipedia, shad is a type of fish, much valued as a sport fish. The male shad is an excellent game fish, showing multiple jumps and an occasional end over end. It has been called a freshwater tarpon. The gravid female does not fight much, but is often kept for the roe.
Okay, interesting. Okay, continuing on. Some of the best mountains that you could find are the Blue Ridge Mountains, and they're located in Virginia. Another famous site in Virginia, located in the northern Virginia section, is Arlington Cemetery, located in Arlington County. It's not actually the largest cemetery in the United States, but it is one of the largest. Once again, Thomas Jefferson's plantation is located in Charlottesville. It's called Monticello Plantation. And Thomas Jefferson, he was very wealthy. He inherited hundreds of slaves from his father and father-in-law, and he also purchased hundreds of slaves as well. I'll go ahead and show you guys something that Thomas Jefferson wrote about a runaway slave. But first, let's just look at a few facts about Thomas Jefferson. Well, he was a key writer of the Declaration of the. He was the key writer of the Declaration of Independence. Actually, he was born to a slave-owning family, and he owned slaves and impregnated slaves throughout his lifetime. Despite this, he included a paragraph condemning slavery, and that it was eventually deleted from the final draft. So here's a picture of Monticello right here. But once again, Thomas Jefferson was no saint. And this is something written by Thomas Jefferson right here about a runaway slave. Run away from the inscriber. A mulatto have called Sandy, about 35 years of age. So it could have been his half-daughter, his daughter. Complexion light. He is a shoemaker by trade, in which he uses his left hand principally. So this is about a runaway slave that he offered a bounty for, and that he said, he wanted back at all costs. So here's another close-up of the famous Monticello plantation. A famous statue that you'll find in Virginia Beach is the famous Neptune Park. And I know yesterday I mentioned Pony Island. Pony Island is actually off the coast of Virginia. And I mentioned it yesterday. I'll redo the story. So the story of Pony Island, these are actually horses. They're not ponies. These are miniature horses. These are tiny horses. And the story is that when the first settlers, before English got there, before Jamestown, before Roanoke, the Spanish settlers were transporting horses across the most dangerous area of the Atlantic over there on the Chesapeake Bay, where thousands of ships have sunk. And there were some wild seas, and the ship ended up sinking, and a group of the horses actually swam to the closest island where they started a colony of their own. And these horses, known as Pony Island, have been there for hundreds of years. Their reason for their small statue is because of the inbreeding that was forced upon them, being on an island with no other horses. So if you're ever in Virginia, you can check out Pony Island, as well as the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now, I think that's actually, it's a short lecture today, guys. I am going to be doing, I know I say that a lot, I'm going to be doing a lot of gaming in the next few days this weekend.
The juxtaposition of such a serious story and a cute picture of ponies seems good.
Oh, okay, you're welcome. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson about Virginia. I'm going to talk about just one or two more things here.
Mr.G Mermaid said, "Thanks, Mr. G, for another great lesson and teaching."
You're welcome. And so yesterday's Latin phrase was esse quam videri, and that means to be rather than to seem. So that's something that I'll always live by. Like, judge me by my actions, not by the bullshit that somebody might say about me. So that was yesterday, esse quam videri. Today's Latin expression is sic semper tyrannis. Thus always to tyrants. Sic, S-I-C, semper, S-E-M-P-E-R, tyrannis, T-Y-R-A-N-N-I-S. So it's not as good as yesterday's, but it's something. Alright, and I'm going to go and show it on the overhead projector too. Once again, class is off till there's no Saturday class, there's no Sunday class. We will have class again on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, where we will learn about the great state of Georgia, where MLK is from. So once again, you guys might have seen this flag before, sic semper tyrannis. I'll go and put it right there. Thanks again for watching, especially if you're on YouTube. Follow the live classroom Instagram. I have my own Instagram at Gregory Joseph Brandt, but if you want to follow the classroom Instagram and get notifications and pictures of the board or what we're going to be learning about that day, you can do that on the Instagram that's on the screen right here. Once again, if you want to know more about me, more about my teaching and my background, you can find that on my website right here. And I hope you guys enjoyed the lecture about Virginia. Right now I'm going to end with a Virginia State song. And look for me live again. I'm going to be doing some gaming and some different stuff like that. So definitely look for that. Thanks everybody, and I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good afternoon. And here is the Virginia State song for you guys.
Help Mr.G with the donation through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip. Countryman. Zip. Thanks again, Mr.G. Scissor_button. Set. Check y'all later. Have a lovely rest of y'all day. MRSG Mermaid. Set. Ruglet G, Ruglet Moses, Ruglet Keanu. Have a good evening, everyone. Hello. Stream Elements. Set. The new merch is here, PodCham. Check it out. https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_live.
Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys. Class dismissed. See you guys on Monday. Hello.